Hey everybody, it's Monday, April 8th, and you know it's time for Black Twitter at 7 p.m. here every Monday on BHL, Black Hollywood Live. We got a full show for you guys tonight on Black Twitter. First of all, R.I.P. Neighborhood Nip. Nipsey Hussle's death has been felt around the world. Plus, we got Kodak Black and Future kind of stepping in it. They're getting dragged on the internet. But no fear, Beyonce's always here to save the day. Shout out to the Bay Hive. We got a new project from her, I think, coming along with Netflix called hashtag Beyonce Homecoming. So, plus we got a couple of good guests, so everybody sit tight.
You're tuned into Black Hollywood Live, the world's first digital broadcast network devoted entirely to urban entertainment and pop culture. Tune in right now.
What up, what up, what up, what up? We got a great show. I got a new panel tonight, but before we get into that, for those of you who are new and are just tuning in, Black Twitter, we come to you every Monday night at 7 p.m. live here on BHL every Monday. Tune in every week, and we can even get at you in the chat, and we bring you all the latest updates on what's going on in Black Twitter. We give you the blast of celebrity beef, politics, entertainment, anything in social media. We bring it to you right here on Black Twitter every week, Monday at 7. And you know, we got a full house tonight. You know, we got a full house tonight. First of all, you know what we got to say. On my far left, I got to introduce our co-host, my boy Kelly. Kelly's in the house.
Yeah.
What's going on,
AKA
everybody?
Chaos Jones.
Whoop, whoop. What's up? Happy to be here.
Yeah, and we have our celebrity guest,
Fancy.
Sterling, my homegirl,
today.
super talented rap singer. We're going to find out all
you.
about her.
Yes.
So Sterling's in the house.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, glad to have you guys both.
So
And
excited to dive in. Let's
and
do it.
we're gonna do. We got a good show. We got some dope hosts, some dope guests. We got a good squad. So let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's go.
All right, everybody. So first up, we have an update on the R. Kelly / Kim Fox situation. She's the
Right.
prosecutor who was actually responsible for dropping the charges on Jussie Smollett. But she's also tangled up in this whole R. Kelly thing because she's a prosecutor from Chicago.
Right.
So I'm just going to ask you guys, before I get into it, do you guys know anything about Kim Fox and her political attachments and, you know, as far as like what's going on with the cases?
I've become more involved in it just recently with the R. Kelly situation and the Jussie situation. But as far as her history, before that, not as much. But I definitely have observed the way she's handled these two brothers' cases, and it's been a little interesting.
It's been very
It's
interesting.
been a little interesting. Yeah.
Woo! Okay,
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I'm still going through doing my homework in regards to Kim Fox. I'm definitely up to snuff on the Jussie situation as well as R. Kelly. But yeah, I'm definitely still doing my research. I feel torn because I feel some kind of way still about the Jussie Smollett
Right. I think we
case.
all do.
And given that I feel some kind of way, is it wrong? Because I kind of like the way she dealt with his situation. I guess in the sense of the fact that he's not about to do any kind of time, and the 16 felonies were thrown out. So even without really being familiar with her, that already kind of gained her a few points, and curried her a few favor points with me. But yeah, I still have to do my research and find out a little bit more because I know there's new developments every
And
week.
Kelly, I kind of threw you a curveball, and let me give you the update, you guys,
Yeah.
because she's interconnected on both cases.
Exactly, yeah,
So
yeah.
last week we talked about her involvement in the Jussie Smollett case, how she's getting criticized for throwing out all 16 counts.
Right.
And she's also been her prosecuting office, in Chicago's over the R. Kelly case. Now, this is what she did was irregular, and I kind of like buried the lead for you guys because I want to tease up to it.
Right.
What she did was she was known for, after the R. Kelly documentary came out, Surviving R. Kelly,
Right.
she actually put it out there publicly. If there's anybody, who
Right.
has any information on R. Kelly,
Please
if he
come
has
forward.
assaulted you, please come forward. And
Yeah, exactly.
on the one hand, we found out that Kim Fox is a very respectable, educated sister. We support her. And I think she's actually a survivor of sexual assault.
Exactly,
On the
yeah.
flip side, some people think, maybe that wasn't, necessarily the most objective thing to do in light of the documentary, because here's what happened. We got celebrity lawyer Michael Avanti coming in.
Yeah.
He passed on to her these tapes. Turns out that one of the tape was an old tape. We thought it was a new tape. And all these old cases that she had thought were, that she was ready to open up, these were older cases that were being thrown out.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of a mixed bag. Let's do this. I usually don't go to Lipstick Alley, but Lipstick Alley had the breakdown. They really broke it all down. Yeah, so I don't know if you can zoom in on that, on that, Jonathan, and we're going to see they even give us like a nice little list of bullet points as we scroll down. Okay, here we go.
There we go.
Michael Avanti may represent, stop right there, may represent witnesses in each of the cases. Avanti, practicing law in Illinois without a license, so that's another foul on Michael Avanti's part.
Right.
You got to look at everything he submits shady to Chicago. These cases were already rejected 15 years ago, and Avanti lied about having new tapes. The victim admitted in the book to lying about being 18. That's another strike. And prosecutors are solicited victims and ended up being Avanti clients, all of those. So it kind of looks bad, She kind of I guess put her trust in this guy and maybe got out a little too ahead of it. So but it's ironic that she's in the crosshairs of Jussie Smollett and this R. Kelly thing. So knowing that, let me know you guys' feedback. What do you think about her scenario?
I think with this situation, and I totally feel what Kelly is saying as far as of course, you don't want to see someone publicly ostracized and prosecuted. But at the same time, I think that we have to still hold each other accountable. And I feel like she is, towing the line as far as finding that balance between holding down the community, but also making sure she's doing her job and having integrity. Right. And I think that that's kind of coming up here a little bit. It's to throw out all those counts with the evidence. I think the case is still sealed, right? The records are still sealed. Mm-hmm. They're not letting people see the records, so I'm just you guys still have integrity. You want to hold down the community, but you got to also have integrity and do your job, because that makes us look just as good also. So
yeah, and I'm a big believer. While the Chicago PD has they have a very spotty record, and they may not be perfect in every scenario. Two wrongs don't make a right. But
exactly.
Kelly, what do you have to say?
Okay, so let me back it up a little bit. Now, I said it earlier, and I'll say it again. I liked how she handled Jussie's case in the fact that she did throw those charges out. Now, while it's still questionable whether or not he played a part in this attack or not.
He did.
Okay,
he did.
I'm trying to be objective right now.
You can say allegedly, that's fine.
But
Jussie did it.
While the verdict is still out, hold on, wait. So while the verdict is still out, I'll say this. Now, we know how things go down in this country, and I feel like regardless, I don't want to say regardless, but even if, let's just say, he did the shit. He set it up. I still feel like 16 felony counts is a little bit excessive. Let me tell you why. 16 felony counts when we have guys that are raping women in alleys and they're getting slaps on the wrist. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to ruin their future. So when you're able to do that, when you have police officers that are shooting down unarmed civilians in cold blood for all intent and purpose,
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
Right. And they're getting slaps on the wrist, because I fear for my life.
So you're talking proportionality.
So then I'm not saying an eye for an eye, but I'm saying I felt like 16 felony counts was a little heavy-handed.
That's fair.
So I appreciated her throwing that out. Now, if there's another angle that they want to hit this case and try and pursue, further legal action, by all means, do what you do. But the way it was set up. Yeah, knock that down. I had no time for that.
And let me jump in, because those of you who tuned in last week, this was a significant issue that came up. Basically, I was of the opinion that while we had Jussie's back in the beginning, when we heard there was some type of assault, then things started coming back and it started looking more sus. My whole thing is I don't know, I hope you guys never have to deal with the police and the legal system, but I know from experience that if you do and you get a cushy deal, you be humble. You say, thank you.
Yes.
I'm going to go work on myself. Right. But what Jussie did out the door, he came in walking like George Jefferson, had the sunglasses on. And he was like, yo, I've been acquitted of all charges. Chicago PD, they done me dirty. I'm a chip off the old block of my mom. I'm exaggerating to make a point.
Right.
And where I come from is talking about black people or people in general
Right.
holding each other accountable. If you're faking the funk, we got to hold you accountable.
Just a little
Because
bit
that
of
makes the
grace.
cause look bad.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean we can't say, come on home, brother. But I just know that when you have a level of arrogance with the police department, that's when they start stacking those charges.
Right.
And those 16 felony counts were each time he lied. And they have the
Right.
right to do that. It's they were definitely stacking the deck, but legally that's how they were able to justify
Right.
the
No,
16
and
counts.
I understand that. It's still a little heavy-handed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a little.
But yes, no, you're 100% right.
I think the balance, again, coming back to like, we just have to like realize, okay, like what was the happy medium between those 16 counts? And again, him
Right.
coming out like that, I was not aware he came out swinging like that.
Oh,
like,
man, you should have seen it. Go to the
he's a little-
press.
like
Go
a
to the
little
press
reveal-
release.
yeah.
Hey, he was definitely puffed up
He was
in the
puffed
chest.
up, just-
And I can understand why he, I can understand that, but at the same time, like you said, it's one of these touchy situations where it's like, yeah, you kind of low key might just want to have
Yeah.
several seats and play a low profile.
And I want to put a pin in the whole Jussie Smollett thing real quick too. I'm actually more sympathetic for Kim Foxx's position as far as R. Kelly. I don't necessarily think there's something wrong with putting out the call. Maybe it was abnormal and inappropriate. Maybe she got, she lost her objectivity on the facts or on the evidence when it was presented to her.
Right.
But her ties to like the Obama party and Chen, who was the head of Michelle Obama's staff,
Right.
texting her all these texts leaked where she was like, "Okay, we're going to do this as a favor for you guys. We're going
I
to try
know,
to
they
get my."
had
It just
hella
looks really bad.
receipts.
Right.
So she didn't really
Hella
really
receipts.
cover her ass on that. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
But can we just real quick? And I know you said the pen. I'm sorry, but can we just go ahead and acknowledge? And I'm not saying two wrongs make a right,
Right.
but can we acknowledge that this kind of stuff happens on the other side of the
Right.
fence
Right.
all
Oh,
the time?
yes.
Yeah.
It's just that in
No.
this particular case, shit
Totally.
came to light.
Oh no, I'm
Now,
not
and real
saying
quick-
that.
okay, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'm just thinking
wrap it
we
up,
need to
guys.
just uphold like black excellence in all situations
Yeah.
and like integrity, because I want us to be the example. I don't want us to be falling short.
And I'm-
The way the other side is falling short.
and I'm the
That's my
first
thing.
person-
But I see you and I agree
Right,
with you. Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
And
I'm
the
not
first
saying
per-
it's right.
And I'm the first person who doesn't want to see another brother in jail.
Right.
So I don't want to see him hung up in the legal system, but just more on like a self-accountability thing.
No,
and you're right, you're
so,
right.
All right, so let's move right on. So
Moving on.
everybody, we got the famous woke segment coming up. We don't need my conspiracy music yet because this is just like some real woke-ish right here. It's some real
I'm
woke-ish.
excited. All
Okay.
right.
So first of all, we are going to talk about Nipsey Hussle. Now, we talked about his untimely death last week, where he was murdered in front of his own store, the Marathon store on Slauson and Crenshaw,
Right.
and tape has emerged of this alleged killer, a.k.a. Shitty Cuz. That's what he's known as in the hood. His real
Don't
name...
get me started.
Don't get me started. Yeah,
Go ahead.
shithead, Shitty Cuz. What's his real name?
Shitty motherfucking cuz is what I call.
Yeah,
I call him shitty motherfucking cuz, but that's just my name
Eric
for
Holder.
him.
Eric Holder, a.k.a.
Right.
Shitty
Can we
Cuz.
Right,
cuss on the
Eric Holder,
show?
right.
Yeah.
Can we
We're
cuss on the show?
We're supposed to keep it light, but that's his
We'll keep
name.
it light.
We're reporting facts, but Eric
Yeah.
Holder
We're
is his
still
name.
passionate about this Nipsey stuff, so
We're
it's gonna be
passionate.
some
It was a
F-bombs.
big loss to people. So
Yeah.
anyway, but good things can come out of it. We all know that Nipsey was cut down in an untimely way. We talked about how he was developing a STEM center in his community called
Yes.
Vector 90. We talked about he had nearly bought up the whole strip mall, including the barber shop, burger
Yes.
shop, named the barber shop in memory of one of his boys who had been killed, and generally preached self-reliance. The brother owns his own masters. He's like a true example of black excellence.
Yes, absolutely.
So, but
Amazing artist.
But one of the good things that came out of it was, I don't know if you guys know, Big U, he's like an OG rolling 60s Crip. I've heard of Big U for years, just only because I'm from LA.
Right.
But he's one of the OGs who's actually been working to rebuild the community on like the last decade or so. He has a he has a really nice stipend, I think, from the government where he works to help put out beefs in the community. And
Oh, awesome.
And Big U is one of those guys who
That's
actually
beautiful.
said that because I spent so much time destroying my community, I looked at it as my responsibility to help build it back up.
Yes.
So what Big U did, we're about to go to his IG in a second, but what Big U did was he organized this rally,
Right.
literally for all the gangs, for Rolling 60s, and then for those of you who aren't from LA, their arch enemies are A-Tray gangsters, A-Tray Crips, and they've been at it for years. But he invited them, he invited all the bounty hunters, he invited all the East Side, Rolling
beautiful
40s,
situation.
90s, even the Pyrus, and so they were able to come together in peace. And we're trying to build from that as we look at the video up here from his IG.
Awesome.
All praise is due to Allah. All praise is due to Allah, man. Look at that. All the gangs, well, most of the gangs from LA, walking over the Nip spot right now. All praise is due to Allah.
And I believe this is a brother from the Nation of Islam who you hear making the commentary in the background because the Nation of Islam provided security. And you get to see the red, black, and green flag, and they walked from the Ralph's parking lot across the street in unity. Nobody could be a straggler to Slauson and Crenshaw, and there they held another vigil. So, and by the way, there's going to be a formal funeral for Nipsey coming up this week,
Thursday.
April 10th at the Staples Center. So, like, imagine that. Apparently, you can go and get tickets online. I don't think they're charging.
They're tomorrow, yeah.
Okay.
It goes live at 10 a.m.
Okay.
4 per person.
All right. Now, with that said, it's been a huge loss to all of us.
Yes, it has.
Sometimes you see when someone's death happens, you feel certain people try to exploit it or try to twist it to their point of view. I'm going to throw this out, for example. We're about to throw to a tweet that Tariq Nasheed put up. And Tariq Nasheed, very controversial brother. I love him to death. He's very provocative, whether you like him or not. But he put Jamil Hill on blast. And basically, Jamil Hill had basically written an article indirectly blaming Nipsey's death for not just toxic masculinity, but black men and toxic masculinity. And there was another writer as well. I forget his name on NBC and
George M. Johnson.
Thank you for his name on
His
NBC.
article.
And then Jamil's article on The Root. She talked about how she implied that he was homophobic. So before we even get into all that, let's go to Tariq's tweet because I think he nailed it.
Okay.
All right, so here's Tariq Nasheed's tweet. The white media got another one of their known plantation minions to write an article slandering Nipsey Hussle after his death, as far as homophobia and toxic black masculinity, as if that fuels the culture and his death. So I'm all open for the discussion, but just too soon, y'all.
Yeah,
too soon.
I think it's too soon for sure. And I breezed over the article briefly, the article that George M. Johnson wrote. And I just think that people don't completely understand the culture and understand what Nipsey was trying to do from the inside out. And him keeping his connections to his neighborhood and his history was a way, I feel like, to make his people feel inclusive always and to never ostracize or segregate himself from his people. So I think it's too soon to be even discussing it. Like, we should be focusing on like other things and really honoring his family.
And if anybody knew Nipsey, he was inviting to like the average homeless person, street person on the street. He would give them food, give them money. The guys who were doing construction. He had love for everybody. But Kelly, what do you have to say?
Okay. So here we go. I agree that it was too soon. I can also understand what George was trying to say, but I think.
And you're clarifying for he wrote the NBC article,
right? And George was actually the one that wrote the NBC article, and I can understand what he's trying to say. It's still a bad take, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I feel like he had a lot of valid points, but choosing Nipsey Hussle as his target was exploitive. He could have chose any number of people from the hip hop community if he wanted to. In terms of homophobia and toxic black masculinity, with Nipsey Hussle, we got to see him grow and evolve.
Yes,
and I think we can all
Yeah.
appreciate that everyone's going to grow and evolve. I'm not the same person that I was 5 years ago. There's so much now that I've learned in the last 2 years. You know what I'm saying? That's changed my outlook and my views on things, and that's what we were seeing with Nipsey Hussle.
Okay,
so
let me
feel like it was just way over the top to even target him.
We got you.
Point.
Totally clear. And to give it context, the reason I brought up Jamil Hill.
Like, Kelly, shut up.
The reason I brought up Jamil Hill and Tariq specifically addressing her because she had sent out some other tweets, basically alluding to not just toxic masculinity, but black male toxic masculinity in particular. And I'm trying to think of the exact context she brought it up. She had basically said, she had basically implied that the heterosexual black male was too entitled, had too much privilege, and that basically implied that too much privilege.
Hopped out of my seat right now.
And that
Too
the
much
the
privilege.
heterosexual black male
Okay.
was
Interesting.
on the same level, I guess, politically and entitlement wise as white men. Where like black men are straight black men are the new white men, and I'm
She
taking
trying
that
to get
kind of
her
she's not the
followers
first
up?
person that I've heard say that.
Yeah.
She trying to
I've
get her
actually
followers
heard that
up.
before.
So anyway, so yeah, I just want to. So that's the context. But with
Right.
that said, I think you guys have all weighed in on it brilliantly. I just want to go to the next topic because we got to get
Yeah.
really going
Let's do
really
it.
soon. All right, so next up we got my man Big Boy. Everybody knows. Let me come to my woke camera because we're still on the woke camera.
Woke
My
camera.
boy Big
We're still
Boy
woke.
from Big Boy's Neighborhood, just legendary radio host, the voice of LA as we call him. He had to check Kodak Black. So
Black.
before we throw to what Big Boy said, let's just talk about Kodak Black. I'm not even going to give him any run here. I didn't want to run his video about what
Okay.
he said, but basically he said something in poor taste on an IG Live. People, these IG Live videos get you in trouble. That's how Cardi got in trouble. But
Right.
basically he implied that he wanted to date Lauren London, Nipsey's fiance. I don't know if they're married, his partner, and that, he could be the shoulder to crown,
No,
she'll
he
be a whole
didn't.
widow, and, you need
no,
to get with me.
disrespectful.
Yeah, he said, I'm gonna
Completely
give her
foul.
like 2 years to cry and
That's
mourn and shit.
disrespectful.
Yeah,
You're lying.
completely
That's
disrespectful.
disrespectful.
So, I mean, he's even get rolled up in his own hood. I believe in Florida, like even the Haitians were like canceling him out there. But we had a lot of rappers come out against him. We had The Game, we had T.I., and then somebody else who I'm forgetting. But, man, I want to get to Big Boy because Big Boy is kind of like the leader when you think of media here in L.A. So let's look what Big Boy had to say. And this is actually World Star repeating what Big Boy said, what Big Boy tweeted. Big Boy had this to say in regards to Kodak Black's words and about Lauren London. Do y'all agree? I won't disrespect my timeline posting a pic of Kodak Black. However, I will say this. I'm not here for the blatant disrespect and fake apologies. To disrespect the king, Nipsey, and the queen, Lauren, is where I draw the line. Hip-hop has been very disrespectful lately. Not only is the disrespect to hip-hop, but this is disrespectful to a beautiful human being, spirit, and legacy.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel a certain way, but I don't publicly speak out. Anyway, you can go to Big Boy's Twitter, and if he deleted it, you can also go to World Star where they've reposted it. But I think let's throw to a picture too. I guess if we go down to the next link, let's go to a picture of Big Boy and Nipsey on my rundown. And there's a picture of both of them. Looks like a picture taken this week. And like I said, Big Boy is the voice of LA as far as hip hop goes and media goes. For our generation, my generation, he has been for decades. And Nipsey Hussle was that new voice.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm floored that anyone would step to Lauren like that or mention anything like that. That's completely disrespectful. There's really nothing else to say about that. That's like an open and shut case. That's crazy.
Yeah, I feel like this is the next evolution of when keeping it real goes wrong.
Way too wrong.
That's
And yeah, the only other thing that I have to say about this, because I appreciate everybody stepping up and kind of low key, trying to check him and put him in his place. Someone made a good point. They said, we should have canceled Kodak Black a long time ago. This dude's got rape charges, in addition to his harassment of Young Ma.
Nah.
So that energy that we have now, we should have had then. But at least we're here at that point where we are putting him in his place.
So in other words, his behavior has always been problematic.
It's always been problematic, and we got to do better and cut that stuff off beforehand before it gets to this point.
I'm not here to defend Kodak Black, but I think he's like in his early 20s. And to be honest, as a teacher, I used to teach in LAUSD South Central for 10 years. He reminds me of so many of my students.
Yeah,
And
he's
when I hear
young.
him, he's not only young, he's immature. He may even be slightly delayed. And he doesn't really have a full caption of the English language at sometimes, even though he's a great rapper. Those don't necessarily have to go hand in hand. But he seems a bit delayed, in my opinion. I used to teach special ed.
That was very nice.
That's
a very nice way of putting it.
Outside of that, because you can't make a medical professional judgment, over the air. But outside of that, he wasn't saying it to the camera. He was talking to his homeboys in a candid moment. But somebody did not have his best interest at heart when they posted that.
No, that's not
So
for
on top
sure.
of it would seem like a really kind of casual thing, like, yo, man, this is rude, but we know there's
careful
all
of your
shady.
friends.
There's shady brothers out there who are trying to sleep with your lady when your body is not even cold
Right.
in the coffin.
Right.
But someone reposted it, and then his apology was just trash. It was just total trash.
Anytime that you start off with your apology is, I apologize, but
Yeah.
it's a wrap.
Oh, yeah, there's no
It's
but.
a wrap. It's
I'm not even
not
gonna
an
give it any
apology
run.
at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, that's like community business. Sometimes I wish that would stay in the community and like these kids who have so much, attention right now, and they have these platforms, so they don't know how to use them necessarily. Like, we need more coaching like what Big Boy is giving, and like different people in the community like Nipsey Hussle to kind of step in and let people know, like, look, this is not how you carry yourself in public, especially in a sensitive time like this. Like, that's bananas.
Okay, we got one more element that's related to the Nipsey Hussle segment, the woke segment, but here we can start getting conspiratorial. We can start bringing my conspiracy music.
Part?
My favorite part,
Is this
everybody.
your favorite part?
All right. What rapper do you think will compare himself to Nipsey Hussle and say that, yeah, guys like me and Nip, we've been doing it for years. I've been doing it for a long time, holding it down for my neighborhood just as well. And all my baby mamas, I take care of all of them except the ones who don't show me love back. So what rapper do you think said that?
All my baby mamas?
He has a lot of baby mamas, at least 5. Percocet, Molly Percocet. Percocet, Molly Percocet.
Future.
Future.
That's a few people with hella. It's a few people with hella baby mamas. I was like,
Right, this is true.
Future's
I'm
one
not
of the
putting
most
nobody on
notorious.
blast. Yeah, that's fair.
But he compares himself to neighborhood
Yeah,
Nip.
he said
Can
we
you
need
guys
more
believe
like
that?
us.
We need more
Yeah.
like us. No. If you believe, I really got to put on my tinfoil kufi for that. So let's give, let's give a Future's Day in Court, and let's go to let's go to the video. And I believe he gives a response at a certain point. Well, first of all, to set the stage, a blogger, a black Twitter user, had actually posted one of Nipsey's old tweets where he's Nipsey is talking about empowering the community, teaching your brother to fish. There's an expression, I will teach him how to fish so, he can learn how to fish without me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just, some people I gave the game to, I gave it to them for free. Some of them surpassed me. Some of them didn't do anything with it, but I did my best. And let's just go to the video and see what Future has to say.
Do need more like us. I've been teaching and preaching for a decade.
Future
also
voice.
showing, proving what hard work and dedication to get you.
So the commentator is reading a Future's voice.
When I tell y'all, people on Twitter or Instagram or whatever went ape shit, man.
So we're about to hear all the reactions on Twitter.
Y'all can read this shit. I got a few of the responses. That nigga, shut up. Ain't nobody talking about you. This ain't a man. Whole bunch of you ain't even. Hey, these are the people. These are people speaking. These are people you want to sell your little album to, and go get that Future Hendrix.
And that's Young Pharaoh. Give us a commentary that.
You got people keeping it 100 on this post, man. Hell no, nigga, Future, what have you done? When you compare these two brothers, and true enough, I can't say Nipsey Hussle won. Nipsey Hussle was putting that bullshit out here too. That murder kill and talking about that gang shit. Yeah, it seemed like the brother grew out of that.
All right, let's stop it right here. You can leave the video up, Jonathan, and I'm just going to talk over it. I just want to emphasize that it was actually Young Scooter who actually reposted Nipsey's old tweet, and that's shout out to Pharaoh giving us the commentary.
Yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, is Future the new Nipsey Hussle?
That's so laughable.
I just don't even barely want to touch this one. I'm just going to say I have not seen that evidence to make that comparison.
The audacity!
But it doesn't mean that evidence does not exist. Again, Nipsey is like home court for me, home court for you too, Al.
Right,
so like
right.
we're in LA, like we're close to that. We see the culture.
Yeah,
he's building.
it's home to us.
We see
Right.
the work he's doing. We see the evidence, for him to be able to like claim the things that he claims. I haven't seen that type of work and philanthropy.
I'm pretty sure
philanthropy
nobody in
from
Atlanta
Future.
has either.
Future spreads a lot. I don't know if he spreads a lot of stores and money. Well, he spreads a lot of his seed out here.
Yeah,
but that's
definitely.
another
He's
thing.
definitely got a green thumb.
Maybe he's private about his philanthropic work. Maybe it's something he keeps on the low.
And you know what?
But
Go
it's just a bold statement to make.
Well,
I think right now, again, too soon.
Again,
I think
wrong
the theme,
time, wrong
right,
time.
I think the theme of today's show is timing, and this
facts.
was not a time to even try and insert yourself and kind of applaud yourself and pat yourself on the back. So.
And in addition, again, to give Future an objective platform, we don't know what he's done. I'm sure he may own a Wingstop or a couple of them, but what Future hasn't done, he hasn't gone. But Nipsey Hussle branded Crenshaw and Slauson.
Yes.
That's people know that community because of Nipsey, and that's why he was there, not to show off or make anybody feel bad, because that's who he was.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and here's the flip side, Future. Knock it off, man. Wait, let me talk to my camera right here. Knock it off, Future. You want to know why? Because you're in debt to your label.
Whoa.
You originally signed to Rocco, and then you signed to Epic. So not only did you sign to two people at once, now you owe Rocco all your future earnings, and on top of that, you don't even own your own masters. So get off it, man. Knock it off, man. Not even close to neighborhood nip. Knock it off, man.
I'm just gonna sip my
Excuse
black
me, let
Twitter.
me,
I'm gonna sip my black Twitter tea on that one.
Get my composure. So on the lighter note, ladies and gentlemen, on the lighter note,
Moving
ladies and
on.
gentlemen,
Let's
moving
move
on.
on.
We got some good news. We got some good news. Good news with Beyonce, the
Yes.
Queen Bey is back.
Yeah,
But before we
do.
get into Beyonce,
Okay.
we gotta get into my
Solange. Okay, so I just threw that on.
My
I know I didn't
wonderful-
really say her real name.
So
Sterling.
Yes.
Wonderful rap singer, talented woman, intellect, and
Thank
all around
you.
good friend of mine. So Sterling, how you doing?
I'm doing so good. I'm so excited to be here. It's been too much fun already.
Yeah, we've had
Yes.
a fun week.
Yes.
Okay, so Sterling, I'll go on now about you all day, but you tell us more about yourself.
Yes. Okay. So Sterling Victorian. I am from here in LA. I'm an artist. I rap. I sing. I write for licensing and for myself. I'm an amazing collective called Afro House that puts on. Yes. You know about Afro House?
I've heard about it in circles. I've heard about it in
yes.
circles.
That's my
Okay,
people. That's my
okay.
tribe. Yes. So we're just doing our best to move the culture forward, expose people to different music from around the diaspora, expose different poets, singers, other writers, clothing makers. We're just trying to put the community on and
All
give
that-
artists a platform.
But I don't want to brag on my girl, so you got to
Okay,
brag about yourself.
I
Tell us
know.
about your music.
Okay, my music is. I love my music. I just dropped an album. It's called The Self-Love Project. It's
Okay.
really a combination of alternative and hip-hop music. It has a strong self-empowerment message, a strong woman empowerment message, mixed with a lot of ratchetness. Because
Okay,
I'm
okay.
very spiritual.
Like my girl.
I'm very spiritual, but I'm also very hood
Some
and
people
very
we can
ratchet.
walk the line.
It's all
We can,
about
It's balance. I'm both. Yeah. So please check it out. Please check it
I
out.
heard your
On what
chi balances all that
Yes.
out.
What platforms?
All the platforms. The album is on iTunes. It's on Tidal. It's everywhere. You can follow me on Instagram, Sterling Victorian. We have an Afro House coming up this Sunday.
Nice. Everybody check it out.
So please check it out. Please come through.
And we can shout that in at the end of the show. But real quick, okay, so
Yeah.
for instance, ladies and gentlemen, Sterling is the one who brought to my attention this new Beyonce project.
Yes.
Hashtag Beyonce Homecoming. Hashtag Beychella's coming back. So
Yes.
Sterling, tell us about that.
I was on Black Twitter yesterday, and all I saw was Homecoming. But I knew those letters from Beychella, and I didn't even go to Beychella.
And what is Beychella? Tell
That's
us
how
for those who don't
iconic
know.
Beychella was, because I didn't even go to Beychella, but I know about Beychella. So
Okay.
Beychella was Beyonce's iconic performance last year at Coachella, where she really brought Black culture to Coachella, Black culture to a predominantly white audience. I mean, it was the biggest display of Blackness that I've ever seen at
Nice,
Coachella,
nice.
and
I
I've been to
remember.
Coachella
few
many a
times.
time.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. We
Many
want to talk about
times, and
that.
that was, so yeah, it was very exciting. I mean, she did everything from have a line to actually sing the Black national anthem at Coachella. Like
Nice.
that was a huge moment.
And-
Yeah.
and
So
for those who don't know, too, a big theme was Black colleges and
Yes.
HBCUs.
HBCUs,
and stuff,
exactly.
yeah.
Right, and go
Yeah,
ahead.
go ahead. So yeah, yesterday Netflix dropped a very, very mysterious ad that just said Homecoming, but of course the Beehive knows what it was because you drop a B and the Beehive is on it. So, and today they dropped more of a video with Maya Angelou talking over some amazing footage from the making of Beychella. So it's going to really cover the culture and the camaraderie and just all the things that went into doing that iconic performance.
All right, let me hold you off right there.
Yeah,
It's real
totally.
exciting stuff. So while we're sitting here talking about the new upcoming Beychella and the new Netflix documentary documenting Beychella,
Yeah.
I think our engineer is going to be setting up the Twitter scroll. I pulled up a link where it's just all things Beyonce
Yes.
and all things Beyonce Homecoming. I don't know if you can go to the very top of it, but here we go. Let's just look at all the let's look at all the posts in the timeline. Beyonce delivering new music, Netflix doc.
That was one of my faves right
Oh, okay.
there.
Yeah.
Adidas.
Homecoming. Let's scroll back up a little
Adidas.
bit, Jonathan. Yeah. So that's okay. New music, Netflix doc, Adidas collab. Tell us about the Adidas collab while this is going on, Sterling.
Yeah, well, at first she had the meeting with Reebok, which everyone's been talking about this week.
dropped the ball.
But they dropped the ball on the
Mm-hmm.
diversity when she was in the room, so she just hopped on over to Adidas, and it looks like they're going to be doing an Ivy Park Adidas collab, which is going to be amazing. So again, there's so much Beyonce news this week, and the Beehive is swearing that an album is about to come too.
Right.
Because they're like, Netflix is going to drop, the album's going to drop. it's about to be a lit year for the Beehive. They're excited.
Nice. And Jonathan, if you could scroll up to that post you let's just kind of like the one below it, I guess with Beyonce. Okay, I'm just gonna read what Netflix posts, and if this is Netflix direct posted while you guys continue looking at the scroll.
Yeah.
Netflix posted an in-depth look at Beyonce's celebrated 2008 Coachella performance from creative concept to cultural movement, Beyonce Homecoming.
I love
so
it.
everybody's excited. We love it. We're all on the lookout, and I think it's nice to put things more on a hopeful note. We got a lot of stuff.
Can
to
I be a little
celebrate.
messy though?
Be messy. Chime in.
All right,
brother, chime
okay.
in.
So, because I jumped the gun a little bit earlier. So, since we're talking about Coachella, we're talking about Baychella, let's talk about Solange. She was supposed to be at Coachella this year.
What happened?
But now she's no longer going to be at Coachella because of major production issues. Now, the word isn't out yet on what actually happened regarding her production, her production issues. But let me just say this. I feel like we are losing, and by we, I mean artists in general, are losing sight of the fact that this is a festival in the desert.
Break
By
it down.
that I mean this.
I agree.
I respect and I appreciate everybody's artistry. I love it. We love it, and that's what we want to see. However, don't lose sight of the fact that you are not playing in the stadium. You're not playing in Staples. You are playing on a stage in the middle of the desert. We don't need all the lights. We just need some of the lights. We came to see you. So I feel like, to let, some production, production issues because they're not able to facilitate certain things you want, actually keep you from just performing and giving that to your fans. It's a disservice to you, but it's also a disservice to your fans.
100. All right, you guys.
And that's not just for Solange. That's for everybody.
Duly noted, duly noted.
But yeah.
But we got to move on. So we're going to wrap it up, and we're going to go to the fourth segment for our update on Surviving Cardi B. That's still a thing, Surviving Cardi B. I'm just going to get through this real quick, everybody.
I'm not even going to talk.
I'm going to do my best imitation of the victim. I couldn't think of the guy's name. Jack King
I'm ready
was
for
the
it.
victim. Okay, this is Jack King talking about his night with Cardi. I saw her at the strip club, and I showed her I had a little flash of money, and she agreed to go back with me to the hotel, and next thing I know, she made me a drink, cuz, and all I heard was boop, boop, and I couldn't remember a thing, cuz I passed out, and woke up, naked, condom wrapper on the floor. Let me stop clowning. We had talked about Jack King. That's my Jack King voice, but I wanted to give him his due. I wanted to give him his credit because we could throw to him, and that's his IG on there. So, any quick notes on Jack King before we get out of here and his scenario?
Just bless your heart and bless your soul. I know we're short on time. I have a lot to say, but just bless it.
We'll have to get back on that
Yeah.
one. It's unfortunate what happened. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
It's
It's
unfortunate,
unfortunate,
for sure.
but I gotta wonder, did she just throw that on the floor and he thought maybe he still got what he paid for? I'm kind of feeling like he probably didn't really even get what he paid for.
There could be so many variables.
I'm just gonna.
But we're just gonna leave it there.
I'm gonna put a nice bow on it because we got to get out of here. But
it was wrong though.
One of the some of the fallout we can see from these type of scenarios is I don't know if you guys ever watched the Bad Girl Clubs, but the Bad Girls Club.
It was
but
been a
one of the
second,
Bad Girl
but
twins, her name is Sinead. She was actually guilty, basically doing the same thing, setting up dates, escorting. These are paid dates, and to me that doesn't even matter. But I want people to know the dynamic that sex and money and drugs are all a part of it. But on this particular time, as you can see on the clip, a very pretty girl, the particular date, who ended up having a little too much. We can't prove whether she slipped it in or he took too many drugs. But the point is, he didn't wake up.
Oh no.
So and then she proceeded to run his pockets, take his credit card and his ATM, and run up a whole bunch of money on his account. So
oh no, that's
people,
not
this is why this stuff isn't a joke. There's all these memes going around about, how could you let yourself get robbed by a Bronx stripper and complain? When you throw sex and drugs and money in the mix, that's a very dangerous mix.
Yeah,
and right now, in
it
this
is.
particular case, if you drug somebody, they may not wake up. And in this case, Sinead didn't even call the police.
Also, I think
No, that's unfortunate.
it almost puts a very bad stigma as if they don't need any as if they need any more negative stigmas on sex workers.
Yes.
Because not all sex workers are
They're all not like that. Okay. So with that said, everybody, we're going to start wrapping things up.
Yeah.
Let me just remind you guys, for those of you who aren't weekly updated on Black Twitter, we do this every week. Every
week.
Monday at 7 p.m. here on BHL at Black Hollywood Live, where we give you the best in celebrity beef, social media news, entertainment, politics. You get your whole blast right here. It's a one-stop shop for Black Twitter. And I want to be very, very thankful and show some extreme gratitude for my guests. Let's start out on the end for my boy Kelly, my boy Kelly B, Chaos Jones.
Hey.
Kelly, thank you for coming and let the people know where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter, your boy Chaos J, KAOSJ, and you can find me on Instagram, Chaos_Jones.
Hey.
And Sterling, where can they find you and what you got coming up?
Yes, Sterling Victorian. You can find me on Instagram. You can follow me, Sterling Victorian. Like I said, we have the Afro House coming up.
Nice.
This Sunday, we're donating to a great cause. So come on my Instagram, get tickets, and hopefully we'll see you there.
Hey everybody, this is your boy Al Gregg. I'm here with you every week on Black Twitter, Mondays at 7 on BHL. You can chime in live in the chat. We'll be looking for you right now. We'll give you a shout out, and we'll always give you the best in Black Twitter news, social media, celebrity brief, hip-hop news, politics. All that you need is one-stop shop right here every Monday at BHL, Black Twitter, 7
Black
p.m.
Twitter, 7 p.m.
Bam!
Boom.
Thank you very much.
Bye, you guys.
On behalf of our BHL staff, we would like to thank you for tuning in to Black Hollywood Live, the world's first digital broadcast network devoted entirely to urban entertainment and pop culture. Check out our Black Hollywood Live YouTube page for even more great programming and amazing content, and be sure to subscribe and like our channel when you do. I'm your BHL host, Nakia Monet, and you can find me on all social media at Kiki Boom Boom or at Black Hollywood Live. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood redefined.